Alright. Um, Things are getting harder for me in regard functionality and able to just kind of stay focused. It's just a constant, non-stop manipulations, and it's just something I gotta understand that's what this program does. The manipulation I deal with is just disturbing, but that's what reality is. I've accepted reality for what it is. Now I understand that I have a purpose, and my purpose is to never let this slow life live the fantasy. My brain can be altered and manipulated in so many different variations, and that's what this technology is capable of doing. If you just watch my last video, there was something that needed to be said. Target individual reality is no longer something that we target individual deal with in the sense of the real world. Our reality are completely manipulated and changed, and they want us to identify with these manipulations as if it should be accepted. It shouldn't. All you have to accept is to understand that what you are now is a target individual. You are a test subject, and you have to accept that you are being manipulated and you are no longer yourself. For me, the day of change happened on August 19, 2019. That's when psychologically and cognitively I changed. I no longer thought the way I thought. I no longer experienced what my experiences, and it's only gotten worse, and I expect to be worse. But that date is the date that I'll never forget, August 19, 2019. That's the reality of things. I refuse to let this slow life live the fantasized reality. And if it's that easy for me to prove reality in their faces, I'll do that all the time. In the last video you watched, a video about how they torture children. That's the reality. This trash are involved in a program that tortured children. Can you imagine seeing this trash trying to play the protectors of children, the avengers of children, torturing children? That's how bad it is. And then the way you're being manipulated is nasty, right? There's some extreme to least extreme. 2 seconds ago there was a least extreme one, but it was just more like the mental battles of some sort. There's, for example, this is some of the mental battles. Your brain is altered, is manipulated. The extreme experiences are extreme. There's less extreme. They can control your brain and the perception of your brain. Like I said, there's an extreme manipulation and there's least extreme. And then there's like ways to create your thought process to kind of put you into this like mental battle states. Sometimes it's just as stupid as it gets. Sometimes it's just disturbing. Sometimes it's just it's all kind of variation of how they manipulate your brain. And you just gotta accept that, right? As I'm putting things together, for example, the way they try to deflect from you being able to put things in reality, put it in the right perspective. They start talking about how you're gonna die in chains, and for me, torture is gonna be used to kind of disorient reality, to deflect from reality. I mean, these people are literally they don't even try. They don't even try. It's like they're like, fuck it. Excuse my language. Fuck it. He's gonna be tortured anyways. It's like my torture is not gonna change reality. I'm gonna run to it too. So for me, it's just like easy. If you tell me my purpose right now is to put the reality in this people's trashy face, this slow life involving program that clearly torture children, okay, that's an honor. I will do that with honor. While this trash out here recreating reality in these cowardly ways. God is good. Forgive me this purpose. For me to easily put the reality that's so obvious in people's face who live life continuously creating reality. I have no problem putting that in their faces. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for the day I see them in person. They know that. It's so magical to even have that experience that you know somebody is literally living day in and day out to recreate reality, and you know the reality they try to block as this nasty. The thought manipulations can be extremely disturbing or can be not as extreme but still annoying. For example, the less extreme, maybe more annoying side of things is this. I'm on YouTube, as always. They play with my perspective, my perception, right? And I see, for example, I see this thing here. I don't know if you can see it. It's the guy who makes this like sketchy, like like he acts weird and people react to it. And this one here where, and I watch all of them. He's funny, and I see this, and I don't know if you can see the background. It's like this person, this female person, which from far it's hard to tell exactly what she is. But when you click on the video, she look more like closer to like a late teen, maybe early 20s. This.
What's up, my man? You said it's beef?
You see this? When you see her in person, like when you see that in the video, you kind of start seeing that. But from the thumbnail, you don't see that clearly. And they try to make me look at this kid. Well, I don't know if it's a kid. This young person into this sexual way. Now, this is less extreme because this person can actually be a young adult that they just forcing me to perceive this way. They do that to babies. They do that to children that they're children a mile away. But the battle became because I already seen this thing where they start creating these battles in my brain. And so I see this thing come up again, and they wanted me to click on it. And they're still making me having this perception to this person, like where they like add some kind of thing to it that's not there. Now that's less extreme. Somebody who can almost think that she's an adult. That is less extreme in regard to the manipulation they can have. You have, but they do that to babies, little kids. There was like a Walmart ad, and there was this little black girl, like maybe 10, 11 years old. They were doing the same thing, and with different kind of sensations. I will never let this shit live their fantasy. Now, in the last video I made, was a video called Aoi. When I said that the purpose of this trash is so disgusting, they live life to distort reality. The reason why I made a video about Aoi is because somebody was talking about Aoi to block out that there was a child that was being hit with this technology that can destroy the body, that can harm and damage the body. They were hitting this child that's only 4 years old and hitting actually two, a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, both of them with Down syndrome. They were targeting the private part of these children. That's the thing they do. It's commonly done by them. They don't have private part targeting is something they've done. I've said that a while ago. They do that all the time. They like to harm people sexually, hitting the sexual organs of men, women, and children. It's nasty. That's how foul this law are. And I put that in their faces all the time. So, they're still bringing up the how they made me perceive this person who looked like a teenage, late teen, or early 20s, something like that, where they're giving her some things that, it's a lot of mind play, manipulations, a lot of altering the imagination to kind of deflect. But they were blocking out or trying to deflect from the fact they tortured children. They harmed the children and harmed them sexually. Can you imagine being involved in something that tortured children sexually and living life today to block out what they're involved in? They're nasty as fuck. Excuse my language. They're a nasty, foul real life. And they try to sound like normal people, like it's normal to do what they do. Oh, some of them, when they talk to you via V2K, they try to sound like sensible people. So they're gonna knock you out. I was like, I'd rather get knocked out than covered up and blocking out the torture of children. As you manipulate the brain in these disturbing ways, which has been validated, they do these things. They can play with the perceptions in different nasty pedophilia ways, and that's the ways they do. And they can talk to you via V2K in all different tonality. Try to sound innocent and sensible. Try to sound fierce. V2K is the voices called technology that can pipe in voices, project voices into your brain. It's old technology. And so these perps use the fact that the mistake of not knowing where these voices are coming from to sound whatever ways they want. And for me, I see them for trash. They know that. I'm not. The psyops are completely failed. Completely. I've understood. You play with my brain this fashion, and it's easy to understand because they do that so consistently that it's the same stuff. So the way they were blocking out, blocking out the child that reacted, children, both Down syndrome, 4 and 5, getting hit by these weapons directly hitting them in the private parts. They hit the private part, these kids react this way, ow! And they're like, oh, owie. Perps start saying things like that to kind of, because I bring that in their faces every time. To them, war is to disorient people. Oh, that way at war. Oh, he's winning. He's bringing up the torture of children, as if that's the winning. I love these perps because they have sold their self-respect on a low that is no return from it. You can never come back from the low that they are at. I don't. They are so trashy. I don't care how they sound like. I don't care what they look like. I don't care how they present themselves. I don't care their mothers. They have gone so low. There is no coming back. But they're not by themselves. So I think that's what makes them think that it's okay to be that low. But me, do you know how good it feels to know that these grown-ass men are here blocking out the eye with the torture of children? That they live life torturing babies? Or countering the torture of babies? And I can look at them like, this grown man is involved in something that torture babies. It's nasty. Now, the way they will try to block is, if you go into my videos, they will make me think of when I was a kid, and I used to live in a family where there's, where the kids around to watch the kids naked. I myself was also a kid, so my cousin brings her niece to watch her. Not a naked kid. I'm sitting in the bed. I look at her. Okay, it's nothing. It's like, oh, you saw her alley, her private parts. So nasty. And try to create sexual stimulations like you just low life. And the thing is, when I was a kid at that same age, I did this impulsive act of a child. I just turned 14. I'm 13, 14. I do this dumb impulsive thing to myself, which they've been trying to exaggerate. It never happened again because it was such an impulsive moment of a child. Right? I don't even... Listen, when I say that, I'm not here to explain nothing to this low life. They torture children, that's it. What did you need to explain to them? But I know that they want you to start thinking that way. That's why I say that out loud. That's why I articulate what I need to say. Because they want you to really start thinking the way that these people are avenging. Because what I did when I was a kid is this inappropriate act that I did to myself as a child, which they've been trying to exaggerate. Child, 14, max, just 13, 14. I turned 14 maybe a month ago or so. Or I'm about to turn 14. I do this damn thing. Of course, looking back at it, I'm a grown man, an adult man, thinking about what I did when I was a child. And like, oh, what was I thinking? Of course, I know that a child is capable of doing that. That's what a child is impulsive child can do. Now, I'm saying that not to explain myself, by no means. I will never explain myself to people who torture children. I just know that these people want to live their fantasy. I just like to put that in their faces. That while you are here talking about me as a child and try to exaggerate, I know you are literally torturing babies. And I love the fact that you know that. And I know that you guys hate that. They want to be this punishing people when they involve in a program that torture children. What kind of... the level of shit that these people are? To be involved in something that's connected to that? But they're mad. What you did as a kid. I'm like, trash. Please do that in front of me. I'm so fragile right now, but they know that the reaction will not be the reaction they want. I'll be thinking about what they do to babies. I'll think about this grown... I've seen a neighbor walk by here. I swear in my mind, like, this man is living life like this. It's different when you look at like this childlike shit. It's like they have nothing. They stand on. They look at this. They're like they're like the air here. They're nothing. But when you see somebody who's... You see this as like this is a person. Look at him. He's in his flip-flop walking, just like living life doing this. I know he's not alone, but just to have the understanding, like, Jesus, these people are real people. Like, these people live life, this kind of nastiness. They eat, they have their breakfast, he's wearing his flip-flop right now. He's about to get back to doing these things. This man is gonna die. This man is living. This is trash. How can you live a life this disgusting? Thank you for making me the prophet for you. They are here creating theatrical torture. You could, Russia's not going to torture. It's like, oh gosh, we're talking about. To block the reality. these people are trash. They want to live. They're so desperate to paint a facade and a fantasized reality that they talk about how I'm going to be theatrically tortured. The theatrics are supposed to be like, hey, look how it's going to be tortured. When they are here torturing children, can you imagine? They have weapon systems that can destroy every organ in your body and actually fix them. They can make you feel pain in every body of your body. Everybody, like they can do all kind of horrible things using some of the most sophisticated technology. You know that. You put that in their faces. I know what you guys can do with this technology and what you guys done. I know you burn women's genitals. I know you cut the genitals and vaginas. I know that you are here doing these harmful things to babies, suffocating them. Do you think the theatrics of the torture that you want me to go through is going to block that? You don't see. Of course, it's obvious what they're doing. And so these people involved in a program that does these horrible things to think that because of the theatrics of it all, it's going to change reality. Never. Thank you. You have given me dignity and honor. Who's going to torture me? A Russian? An Italian? Like what? Like this, not to say that. I'm just saying like 21st century weapon system that is able to do everything to me remotely is what I'm dealing with. The truth is, when you see it, anybody, the rest is nothing. The rest is going to be theatric. And they use these losers of human beings. They'll be watching. It's like, trash. You'll be watching, then you go back to doing that to women and children. And they tell me it's going to be medieval. I'm like, okay, you torture me in this medieval theatrical way. But I know the way you torture these women and children using these modern weapons, that can be even worse than anything medieval. Clowns. And they're like, no, not pay. It was like these people suffocating 7-year-old. This testimonial you just heard of a 7-year-old couldn't even breathe because they can restrict their lungs. Is this medieval? For me, when I see them, it's just calming myself down, relaxing. Just calm down. And then the cherry on top of all the cherries, the manipulation. You can see how this was not the most extreme. This person, at least, there's a possibility that she's like some kind of young adult. Okay. The manipulation they do to like the babies, even it's disturbing. So her, it's okay. Right now they're making me think of the way they made me perceive that this person's butt, whatever she is. But they do that to babies, where there's no doubt they're children. 10-year-old, 11-year-old babies of all ages. And they do that to degrade and break you down. And then they use these retards that's supposed to gaslight you. Now we're not there, we're not there. Trash us, humiliated by reality. Guess who they're working for? The Department of Defense, yes. The DoD has been working on this program and developing this weapon system for a long time. I'm one of millions, maybe, of many, who are just another guinea pig, another human subject, where they're using these tactics to see what efficient way they can break people down. And I'm breaking down. There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm in the isolated state. But when I see them in person, everything I say, target visual, it helps. Cause man, my reactions are not the reaction of somebody who feels scared or whatever, or oh my gosh, I'm so identified. It's the opposite. I get anger to see this trash. I'm like, this low life, what do they deserve? As much as they try to normalize it, it's like, what does low life deserve? What this shit like that can deserve? And they're nothings. What does this shit like that deserve? In my brain, whatever way I'm being manipulated, I will never identify with. You know, it gets so bad that I'm watching this thing about like horoscope, right? And I see this I guess I forgot what horoscope was. I think it was some kind of sign. I don't know about was it Virgo something. And they were saying like is Virgo touchy, and right? And they make me like, oh, she touched it. You know what they try to talk about? First of all, they make me imagine something else that what I did as a child. Try to create some more stuff like they want to paint it in a worse version than what actually happened. And then I go back, no, but she touched it. Ugh. Talk about what I did when I was a child to myself. To create contact. They try to make me imagine something where there's contact happening. Just to try to exaggerate what I did as a child. Because they hold on to that to make themselves believe that I'm going to look at them as some kind of like Avengers. I will never let them escape. I will never. I know what they do. It's done. I know that they vilify target individual in whatever shape and form. And they can utilize whatever they can. They're going to utilize you. Can you imagine I'm involved in something that tortured children and I'm like, oh my gosh, when you were a child. Let's see what you did. I'm out here zapping genitals of children. Yeah. What would you do to this person? Forget about even the manipulation, just that. You will lose it to it. Like you like, you piece of shit, you deserve. Now, they think that they can gaslight you enough to forget about it. Never. I will never let that happen. And so for me, whatever extreme and non-extreme, I got it. This is this non-extreme. I wish I could zoom in better so you can see how when you see. So this is. Let me see. When this kind of things happen, they try to create anxiety, to create sexual stimulations. I don't know if you can see it, but let's do. I don't know if you see from here. See this person in black. From afar, they try to make it. Then you look. They're doing their best to make me. Yeah, this one. And try to create perceptions in sexual ways. That's, they do that to the babies. I know I can feel being manipulated to feel this way, and it's because this is some young person, a young adult or not. I don't know what she is. And like, oh, they'll see it. Oh, gosh. Target individual, I will never give them any ounce of fantasy. They thought they could use scare tactics as ways to make me accepting of manipulations. Not gonna happen. I don't doubt that these bad things are gonna happen to me, especially the way I provoke them by putting reality in their face. I have no doubt. But they're using that as a scare tactic to try to be accepting of these things. Never. And that target individual, you should never too. Accept that your brain is no longer yours. Accept that you're being manipulated and your brain is being altered. You have to accept that. That's the reality. Do not even try to think, okay, oh no, whatever ways they try to logically try to make you are no longer you. So how can you identify to something that you can't even? It's not you anymore. As much as they try to. From the extreme to the least extreme, I can tell when it's fake. When I'm being like something in my brain's happening. They've done that to people who, even if I was naturally me, I would feel something. It's like, no, this is fake. I feel something. Yeah, look at you. Beautiful woman. This thing I'm having right now, I know it's fake. I can tell. Something is being manipulated to feel something. So for me, before I die in hell, wherever I end up, I'd rather die there. Because the heaven they in, if you watch the last video, and you clearly hear who's running this show, how much of a threat they are to children, how nasty these bottom feeders are, I don't know where they're going to die, but man, they better do some good living before that. Because if there's something happening after life, oh Jesus, they're a nasty low life. This is biblical. Can you imagine that the entities that happen to come up and develop this weapon system have actually a problem with pedophilia? It's so crazy that there's a bill that was created right before they started doing the V2K, right before August 19, 2019. They introduced a bill in 2019 because the Department of Defense Network was being ranked for some of the most child porn being trafficked in the United States of America. It's magic. Tell my target images stay strong.